Nelson Mandela became the first black president. He was like his complexion was black, and he was the first black president of South Africa. So earlier, due to the practice named apartheid, due to this, the black people were deprived of their basic rights also. They were not given the basic rights also. So to remove all these things, these black people and many others have struggled a lot, and now it has all changed. Okay, now the society has become where there is no discrimination on the basis of the color, caste, race, age, or gender. So the chapter starts like this. On 10th May, when Nelson Mandela sworn in as the first black head of state of South Africa. So on the 10th of May, he was swearing as the first black head of state. And along with him, two other person also sworn that day. And on that day, many people from the anti-racist party and other white presidents and everyone came for the inauguration ceremony. Many other international leaders also came. So it was first time in the country's history when many people, many leaders and everyone came together for the inauguration ceremony. The ceremony took place in an open circular building made of sandstone consisting of union buildings in the Pretoria city of Africa. So on that day, the author Nelson Mandela and he was accompanied by his daughter Zinani on his big day. So two other vice presidents also took an oath that day, and after them, this man Nelson Mandela has taken the oath. He committed to respect, protect, and abide by the Constitution of South Africa, and to devote his entire life, entire self into the welfare of the country. The author also mentions in some parts of his speech where he said that everyone by his presence was giving rise to hope for a new beginning. Previous rulers were discriminatory. They used to discriminate people according to their race, caste, color, religion, everything. But now he has become the president and he will change everything. He is glad to host a ceremony with the presence of global leaders, and it was itself an achievement for him. So when apartheid was practiced in South Africa, so South Africa lost all the international political relationships, but now there is no discrimination going on. So South Africa will maintain a healthy democratic and political relationship with other countries as well. So this was all given in his speech. So in his speech, he thanked everyone, especially the international leaders, for joining them in celebrating their achievement, which is a step towards equal society where every human will be treated fairly. He also mentions that after great struggle, they have finally achieved political freedom. His government promised to free everyone of the still existing poverty, hardship, and inequalities of all kind, with assuring everyone of a country where there will be no discrimination and nobody will be considered inferior. कोई भी छोटा नहीं कहलाएगा. He then exclaims that freedom should rule and may God shower his blessings on their land, Africa. He also mentioned about the fighter jets, the arrangement of the fighter jets, and how the sky got colored with the smoke of the fighter jets. And it was all blue, red, green, black, and gold. Okay, which represents the South African flag. Next, the author remembers the day as playing two national anthems. Two national anthem was played, one by the whites and one by the blacks. So the words of the blacks were not understood by many people, but he says that soon everyone will learn this anthem and they once hated, which were told by the which were sung by the black people. So soon everybody will be knowing the anthem, the blacks anthems. Okay. So he also says that on the day of the inaugural ceremony, he was remembering the days of past when the whole system of apartheid emerged, which resulted in inequality and inferior treatment of the dark skinned people, of the black people. And they were not given their basic fundamental rights. As a result, one of the world's most brutal and inhuman cruel society was born. So that cruel society was born in South Africa. This began even before he was born. So apartheid was followed even before he was born. So it was a long, long process. But now, when he has sworn as the president, now it will all be over, and all the systems, apartheid, caste system, religion, related to religion, race, age, color, so everything will be removed, and nobody will be treated inferior. This equal and free country was the result of sacrifices of countless other men, and he has named all the countless men. What were their names? Oliver Tambos, Walter Sisselus, the Chief Luthilus, the Yusuf Dadus, the Bram Fishers, the Robert Sobokves of his time. His time is men of such extraordinary courage, wisdom, and generosity that people may never know again. ऐसे लोग दोबारा नहीं आने वाले. So he has named few of them. And he also mentions that this hard time had its negative impacts, but it also exposed a lot of strong and courageous men who stood up and raised their voice. And these were the men. These six men's name is mentioned in the book. You can see. So thus, it is required that level of unjust treatment to produce such great heroes. So जब बहुत बुरा हुआ तभी सच इतने अच्छे heroes आए. अगर ऐसा बुरा नहीं होता तो फिर ऐसे लोग मिलते भी नहीं. So he says that he compares these people with the minerals and gems of South Africa. He says South Africa is rich in minerals and gems, but its greatest strength lies in the people. Now, see page number 21, second paragraph. It is from these comrades in the struggle that I learned the meaning of courage. Time and again, I have seen men and women risk and give their lives for an idea. I have seen men stand up to attacks and torture without breaking, showing a strength and resilience that defies the imagination. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers the fear. So Nelson Mandela gained all his strength to stand against the wrong by learning from all the great nationalists he has mentioned above, all the six nationalists who have even risked their lives for freedom and tolerated bad treatment by the society, but never stopped fighting. He learned that courage didn't mean the absence of fear. So the fear is always should always be present in oneself. So the man who overcomes his fear is called brave. Everybody is scared of anything or something, but we have to overcome the fear so that we can be called brave. This was told by Nelson Mandela. Now, see the next paragraph. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Even in the grimmest times in prison, when my comrades and I were pushed to our limits, I would see a glimmer of humanity in one of the guards, perhaps just for a second, but it was enough to reassure me and keep me going. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. So, glimmer means grimmest. First of all, grimmest means very serious, something which is very serious. And glimmer means I would see a glimmer, matlab I would see a shine faintly with a wavering light. So he would see a shine in the one of the guards who had humanity. So he says that a person is taught by its society to hate humans because of their skin color, age, gender, or religion. But no one is born with hatred. The author's idea is that if people can be taught hatred, they can also be taught to love each other. So, in their most testing times in the prison, when they were being treated brutally, Mandela would see a pinch of humanity and kindness in one of the guards, and that was enough to keep him going. So, everywhere he can see was hatred, but even if one guard was kind and kind towards an other person of the prison, he would keep going. He would not fail. So he believed in goodness in human beings and which can be increased but never eliminated. जो बढ़ सकता है but it cannot be eliminated from a person. Obligations. Obligations to his family, to his parents, to his wife and children, and he has an obligation to his people, his community, his country. In a civil and humane society, each man is able to fulfill those obligations according to his own inclinations and abilities. But in a country like South Africa, it was almost impossible for a man of my birth and color to fulfill those obligations. In South Africa, a man of color who attempted to live as a human being was punished and isolated. In South Africa,